So I know this kind of stuff is old news to most of you guys, but I got my Dillon press back from rebuilding. So I complained. I called him up. Well, I didn't complain, but I called him up and told him that I had two powder bars for 9 and 45, two heads and sets of dies, and that I was having various problems. So what they did was they replaced the canister, which they weren't going to do that. So I was surprised they did that. They might have replaced some things here, like this little hex screw that comes loose pretty fairly often. They replaced this housing on two of these bars. They seem to machine and clean up a bunch of the dies. They replaced this little clip here. So when I got it back, everything's working fine. Except for I had to adjust this clip so that when the brass is in there, it just goes up against that left front corner, holds it firmly, but so that would work right. And then this first die, it has this depriming pin. So I just noticed that a lot of my brass was, too many of them were not depriming on that first push. So I took it out. Two things I had to fix is the pin, when it rotates, when you rotate the die or you spin the pin, it should be pointing straight at you at all times. So mine was sort of doing this number. It was bent. So I took crescent wrench and figured out how it was off and just bent it straight. Now I've got spare pins, but I don't like to throw them away when they just need a slight little bending. So I bent it until it's straight down at all times, even when you spin the pin around. Okay, so I put that back in, and then I adjusted the first stage until it got down, and you can go too far with it, and then the handle will actually bottom out before when you get to the bottom here, you'll hit it, and the handle won't go all the way down. It'll kind of bottom out. So you back it off until you're sliding down, till the die is sliding down just as far as it'll go down without binding. Once I did that with straightening that pin, now it's depriming every time, and it's also resizing the hell out of the brass all the way down. You can see there's no bulge or anything. They're real straight all the way down. Okay, the other thing that I had to do was I'm using coated bullets now. I don't want to scrape the coating off. So what I've done is I have lowered this die, which I had to keep this on there, tighten it temporarily, check it, tighten it all up, check it, and then slightly loosen it up, and then back it off until I reduce that bell to the point that I like it. Now, I don't want to bell too much, because if I use the brass over and over, it fatigues that lip up there a little bit too much. So that's about where I'm at. You can see that it's just barely belled out, but it's really nice for these coated bullets. I'm not going to hit them wrong. The other thing that happens a lot if you don't have enough bell, when you're running real fast, you'll tend to sometimes set a bullet in there and it'll fall to the side, and you bite into it, and you have to throw either the round away or also the brass. So by adjusting those two, I am fine. My overall length is fine for this third one, and then my crimp is fine. Now, I like a little bit more of a crimp than you probably have to have, but it's not breaking the coating or anything. So I've got it fine-tuned again. It's running better than ever, and real happy with it right now. So sending it back to Dillon was a really good deal. Makes me very happy that I purchased a Dillon 550B in the first place. So I've had it for 5 or 6 years or more. I'm not sure. I've loaded, gosh, I don't even know how many rounds I've loaded through this thing. It's crazy to think of the number, but real happy with it now. Again.